Good morning, Dr. Teague. This is Gavin Spur speaking, and I'm going to walk you through my website. I used Screencast-O-Matic to make this video. So, here's my welcome page with the message, Welcome Longhorns. The title of the class, Music Class at Longfellow Elementary. I have a calendar right here that shows important events that happen at our school, like our open house, first day of school. I would also include concert dates. You see our background right here has a bunch of cattle, because that is our school mascot. And then a quote for our school's namesake. Let's look at the instructional design model. I chose a backwards design model. The backwards design model was designed by Wiggins and McTighe in their book Understanding by Design in 2005 to teach educators how to design courses starting with the desired goal in mind and working backwards. Click on the different stage buttons to learn more about the model. I've also included an image explaining the model. Got that directly from the book. Let's look at stage one. Stage one starts with identifying the desired results. The purpose of the stage is to identify what students need to understand and or perform by the end of a lesson unit or overall curriculum design. Here is where goals, typically set by specific education standards, desired expectations, specific procedures, and priorities are established. Next, you need to determine acceptable evidence. This stage is where the instructor determines how they will know when students have reached the desired result. Assessment evidence is collected not for the sake of content, but to help measure student growth toward the desired result. And then lastly, stage three, plan learning experiences and instruction. Once the desired results and acceptable evidence have been defined, the instructor now needs to select the appropriate activities that will lead students to the desired result. This includes planning lessons, selecting appropriate curriculum, and providing experiences that aid in student development. Let's look at my instructional problem. Instructional problem. My problem is how to get 5th grade students to practice their instruments. So every year, 5th grade students get the opportunity to try out a new instrument. Their instrument choices include flute, clarinet, trumpet, trombone, and violin. They are very excited to start something new. They get their instrument, marvel at its physique, and look forward to learning how to play it. Then the problem kicks in. Every student begins to realize that having an instrument comes with responsibility. They need to bring it to school every day, take proper care of it, and worst of all, they need to practice it consistently. This idea of practicing your instrument often shies students away from music. To come up with a solution to this problem, I will use the backwards design model to design a solution to this instructional problem. Click on the 3 stage buttons to see how the design plays out. So stage 1, I want them to develop a consistent practice routine. Students will bring their instruments to and from class every day. When they bring their instrument home, they will be expected to practice their instrument every night throughout the week. Students will then be expected to play what is asked of them at an age-appropriate level of confidence. So as you can see right here, this is not standards-based. This is actually more behavioral classroom procedure kind of stuff, which is fine for the backwards model. Stage 2. So my acceptable evidence. It will take shape of the following assessments: Flipgrid videos and karate belt testing. Students will be required to make weekly Flipgrid videos, which will show me how they perform songs from our method book. These videos will help me assess ability, understanding, technique, and performance. Karate belt testing will assess which skills students have as they progress through their book. The method book's string basics and essential elements provide a scaffolded approach to learning music and playing an instrument. And then stage 3, planning learning experiences and instruction. So these experiences and instructional planning will focus on practice methods that will make learning music easier for students. The main method, our 4-stage process, will be used during class and encourage for students to use during their practice time. I'll fix that typo later. Students and parents will also be taught how practicing should look, how to balance practice time with other responsibilities and interests, and how to encourage music performance and family lifestyles. Lessons will come from the book as well as from pop music sources to help reflect student interests. That's 2 typos. Okay, let's look at the rest of the tabs. So here's my teacher bio. Got a picture of me here, picture of my band, picture of me playing at a gig. Got a little description that's short and sweet, my educational background, and then links to some projects I've been involved with. Let's look at content. So here are my content area resources. I decided to focus on music and history because I often combine the two. So for Essential Elements Interactive, that is the supplemental software that goes with the band book. Next, I have the JOUST Interactive Practice Studio. That's a supplemental software that goes with the string book. And then BandLab Education. This is a digital audio workshop that is appropriate for elementary students. And you can use it for high school too. It's just an introduction to see how a digital audio workshop works, because that's what professionals use when they're making their own videos. And then for the history stuff, we have Newsela, which is a way to set your reading level while reading articles. Beluga, it's a peer-to-peer interaction resource that helps students interacting in a global community while following tech and education trends. And then Time for Kids, which is a media source that has articles about contemporary issues as well as articles written by students. Let's look at our family resources. So I chose 3 local ones. I chose a local youth choir. They're very popular. They started out with a boys choir. They now have 4 mixed choirs, starting from elementary grades all the way through high school. They do tons of performances, and because their donor base is so big, they offer full tuition assistance. I included our local library. We have 2 branches in town. One's actually just down the street from our school. So families and students can have access to that right here. And then the district website. It's got a bunch of information about dealings that go on within our school district. District does a really good job of family outreach, but there's still some that fall through the cracks, so just putting it on the website is another way to help support that. And my photo credits. And then lastly, my tools. So, here are my tools. I'll start with my first 2. I'll have to fix the font later. Flipgrid. I really like Flipgrid because it's similar to like Instagram and YouTube, only it's exclusive to my classroom. So it gives students an opportunity to practice making videos of themselves within a safe environment before they move on and start doing it on other platforms on their own time. And then Nearpod. I used this a lot last year. It's just an interactive presentation tool where I can upload slides from like Google Slides or PowerPoint and then put in little interactive games and features for students to complete as we go through the lesson. Then I have Kahoot, ClassDojo, Edmodo, Insert Learning, Screencast-O-Matic, Quaver SEL, Zooniverse, Classcraft, ChessKid, Powtoon, Remind, Pina, and of course, Prodigy. Okay, so that's my website. And finally, my questions. So, my first question is, how do I properly cite images on the website in APA? I did it a couple of different ways on the website. I'm not sure which one is the appropriate way. And then second, my question is, wouldn't it be more appropriate to use this website as a portfolio rather than a website for our school? Now, I say that because this website, it kind of showcases our knowledge of different resources different knowledge that we have of those resources and different things relating to education, as well as just showcasing our web design skills. Like, I feel like I would use this to present to my building principal, just to say, hey, this is what I can do. This is what I know. I feel like if I showed it to my families and students, they would just kind of scratch their head and be like, what am I looking at? I'd have to really simplify it for them. And I did even take the time to, and that's supposed to be right here, include a button that changes language from English to Spanish, because I have a lot of Spanish-speaking families, but I still feel like they would just shy away from it because it's just information overload. Anyway, thank you for watching. Sorry if I burned through that. This is my second take, so I wanted to make sure that I had enough time to go through everything that's required. Hope you enjoyed this presentation, looking through my website, and I look forward to your feedback.